Randy.
Hello, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing good.
Thank you for joining World Speaks on this segment of Justice Speaks. With the things that are going on kind of right now, the most highlighted with Ahmaud, and that happens to so many Black men and women, and with many other people of color, there's like this continual fear and misunderstanding of cultures that happens in our country. And World Speaks really wants to start a dialogue that educates people and gives POCs, people of color, a chance to use their voice and just share their perspective. So I really do thank you for your perspective today.
No problem. Happy to share.
Thank you. And so, how would you say that you identify yourself?
I would say I identify myself as well, it's kind of hard because my dad is from Salvador, my mom is from Mexico. So it's kind of always been like hard to identify which section or which part of the thing I identify the most. But over time, I've been more like, okay, I'm half Mexican, half Salvadorian, so I would identify as those parts. And it's not just it's just not one identification with me. So it's maybe a lot of people in my situation relate to that, but to me it's kind of hard to see one side bigger than the other.
You would identify as someone who is bicultural or has two different heritages. Okay. So as a Mexican American, Salvadorian American, I know you don't represent all people who are Mexican American or Salvadorian American. We've all been the token minority before, but I want your perspective. Tell me about your U.S. experience. How did you get here?
Well, my parents, I want to go back a little bit, but my dad basically, when he was young, there was a civil war in Salvador. So they escaped the civil war that was going on. And then my dad moved to Mexico at the time. And that's how he met my mom. Well, all of his family eventually migrated to the U.S. My dad decided to stay in Mexico, and that's where, like I said, he met my mom. And over time, they came to the U.S. and I was born here in Los Angeles, California. And then at some point, they decided to go back to Mexico for a few years, and then I don't know, when I was in middle school, they decided to just come to the U.S. We just moved completely, and I've been here ever since. So I'm assuming that it's like the pretty typical like Hispanic story. Like the parents move here for a better future for their son or daughters, and that's what they do. So I'm highly appreciative of that.
It's kind of cool. Like you're an American citizen, you were born in the U.S., but then you also have that immigrant experience as well, because you grew up in Mexico. Did you know the language of English when you came to the United States, or was it kind of hard for you?
No, I did not know it. It was hard to learn it because I came here as an older, very old age. So I would say, well, old age to learn a new language considered, but yeah, I was here when I was 13, 14, and it took me, like my brother and my sister learned the language faster than I did. Like they were pretty much speaking it since probably like within 1 year or 2 years, and because they were younger than me, but with me it took me a while to get the handle of it. I could understand it and read it way before I can speak it. The speaking part came out later once I like went to felt myself more comfortable talking about it. Felt myself more like, okay, they're not gonna judge me if I mispronounce something, and when I felt comfortable, I was like, okay, I got it.
Yeah, and I'm sure that was like an excellent feeling when you could just kind of go with the language and just start kind of expressing yourself more in it. So what is a time or story where you felt misunderstood or not heard due to your heritage?
I think it's a situation, in professional situations. It's more like it's not just one specific one. It's more like, oh, we're in a meeting, and I give my opinion on how things, like how things should work or how things should go, like a plan for a strategy, and you always see that they take someone else's that is not me as a minority advice or comment more seriously than they do to me, and I see it all, like every time I'm in a meeting, they overlook what I say or what I do, and they always look for someone else to give their opinion, and then they listen to them much more than they listen to me, which is you feel it kind of sucks, but that's where you have to be more persistent, more getting your voice heard, and more like, yeah, you're gonna hear me because I know what I do, and you have to at least take my opinion into consideration.
So sometimes you may even feel invisible, like you're not there, even though you may have more of the experience in the room.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm sure a lot of people have had that experience where it's like, hey, I'm over here. Hello, the person you hired, the qualified one. So what do you want people to know about Mexican Americans or Salvadoran Americans, something culturally or something that you think people have wrong about maybe even being an immigrant in your situation? What do you want people to know?
I feel like a lot of people put, like, if you're Mexican, you are, how to say, like, I guess a stereotype into liking wherever you see in like TV shows or in movies, like, oh, he likes this, like we call him banda. That's not true. Like Mexican Americans, Salvadoran Americans, they come in all types of say, like type of, they like different stuff. It's not just one thing that they like. They may like rock, they may like gospel, they may like, so it's not just one type of music. Another misconception is that if you're Mexican American, you must really like spicy food, which don't get me wrong, I love it, but if you talk to my sister, she cannot handle spicy food. She does not do well with spicy food, but that's probably a misconception that a lot of people have. So.
All right. Well, Randy, I'd like to thank you for your time tonight and joining us on Justice Speaks.
All right. Thank you.